Hello to all. I bring warm greetings to Fambulem from the media empire TNN TV, where they broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Today, we get a very special kind of a message for we Fambulem, we Peoplem. And if una dey read the audio, we sort of stuck. So let's do a countdown again. Let's see whether we... Okay, Fambulem, I bring warm greetings to una once more. We dey have some technical problems, but I'm sure say una dey get the audio, but I sure say una no dey see the video. I sure say una dey get the audio, but una no dey get the video. So una bear with me for 1 minute, 1 minute if you will, while we try for adjust this technical issue. It's a technical issue. And like I say again, una bear with me. I just want to go quickly to the page itself, and I go ask Fambule we already don't join in a minute. In a minute, if you know what I mean, for let una help the platform for understand exactly waiting they go on. Till una know technology now. One moment is okay, the next moment is not. Bear with me for understand exactly. So for them one that we don't join already, I they ask, will you please give me a thumbs up for tell me, because I know say the video not visible, but at least a thumbs up for show me say una dey hear me. Please give me a thumbs up, yeah? Let me give a sign of a thumbs up. That would be a sign of a thumbs up. Okay, thank you very much. Whoever has done that, I will try to identify that person later. So yes, we are having issues with the video as we go along because we cannot postpone this program. Thank you very much for that thumbs up. This is going to be a real talk to power. This is going to be a real articulation and analysis in the top form, a microcosm of a microcosm, if you will like, of the issue itself. So Fambulem, una let shape this particular video. Okay, let we shape this particular video. Like I say, as we go along, una be me if I'm a bit repetitive from the very beginning. Now, because I try for sort out this issue regarding the video. Me not very good at talking without a video. I like actions, as one I can see most of my videos. I'm gesticulating, emphasis, body language. This is what I'm good at. So I know one for the talk when I myself just they gesticulate to myself. Okay, so let we see whether we able for get this thing done. Let we try get we camera. Let we try get we camera on. Our camera should be on. There shouldn't be any reason why they're on. Yeah, shouldn't be any reason why they're on. So again, wanna bear with me. Okay, bear with me. So all along we get the photo as soon as we go live, and then the video of myself in studio has suddenly developed a problem. But like I say, let's see whether we can solve this problem. This baffles me because it's strange. My camera is on here. It's on here. Yeah. And this broadcast tonight is very important, and every second is of valuable importance. So it's useless showing you a black screen. Showing you a black screen. up. Just wonderful. Okay. And can I have a thumbs up again, please, Fambulem? If una they see the video, can I have a thumbs up, please? I shall say the video is back on. Mr. George Orwell, if you they see video now, can I have a thumbs up, please? Please, please, please. Thank you very much. I'm ready to rev. I'm ready to go. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, these things then can unsettle people in a great deal because of exactly what's in happen. But now we get them anyway. Let's just make quick welcome to Fambule. We don't join both friends and foes. We are all Sierra Leoneans. Of course, we get few foreign nationals that we can watch with video. But for now, we get Ramatu Kaloko. Well done, guys. Thank you very much, George Orwell. Hi, Mr. Chroma. Hi, back to you, Mr. Orwell. Thanks for all the support and etc. So let me continue for share and let's get on with it. Okay. Are they on cue and on point this evening? Because it's quite important that we tend to understand waiting they go on and our duty, those of us in the media, when they talk about other people, them we decide not for live up to their obligation, as defined by media, whether you're a social media pundit, whether you're established and authentic journalist or conventional journalist, and many others. There's an obligation for tell the truth. It's an endearment to the people, not the system or the establishment, especially if the establishment is crooked. So today, again, we not for stop for talk about issues them pertaining to we country. Issues them of our time. We get the propensity for derail a process which we don't enjoy for quite a while now. Anything we threaten the fabric and cohesion of the country, if you not speak against them, then they do you and yourself, I mean your country and yourself, a disservice. So today, Fambudem, let's get on with it because we don't get much time and there's so much for cover. You see, the Auditor General, Madam LARA Taylor, was suspended some time ago. Let's create some background to this story quickly. Before we go on with it, it's absolutely necessary that we create a background to the story so people can get it. Okay? So people can get it. Some time ago, the Auditor General of Statistics Sierra Leone was suspended from her duties as Auditor General of Statistics Sierra Leone. That suspension, it creates some division in the country because there are people who complain or being get reservation against the suspension and be remember why is it the suspension happen? Who get suspended, why they get suspended, and waiting at the process and procedures we involve. So for quite some time now, we've been going through this motion of trying to identify the processes and procedure as pertaining to the suspension. Never have we been so articulate in terms of, projecting to the Sierra Leonean people the violation, constitutional violation of processes and procedures and individual. So today, the Attorney General, we want to talk about in this regard. We want to talk about the Attorney General, not Attorney General, the Auditor General, the suspended one. Okay. Now the multitask, it can make you move your attention, here into one space, and then the next moment, say you get for come back. So they want to forgive me for that. But we are spot on. We are spot on, and we are going to carry on with this particular thing today. And I say I've been to create a background to them, and we know say for a while now they suspend the Auditor General, Madam LARA Taylor. But guess what? Madam LARA Taylor has clapped back on the one they will suspend them. Madam LARA Taylor has clapped back on the one they will suspend them. This is wonderful, okay? Because unlike people that will not understand their rights, Madam Taylor seem to understand in right perfectly well. Perfectly well. The mommy seem for understand in right. And when they talk about legal right, not to that here say they say, or then sleazy stuff, here on social media, then drama them, where most of we they get engaged in. When they talk about substance in this case. So when they talk about the Auditor General, the woman who by law is empowered for look into the affairs of the entire government of the Republic of Sierra Leone as to how then they conduct themselves, which is very important in terms of accountability and transparency. Now, Fambulem, we all know, say, the title today say whether the suspension is a travesty. That na we title a travesty of justice. Now, first of all, waiting a travesty of justice, we need for understand this. Part of this conversation here tonight is a teaching moment, if you like. We know, say, when we talk about the travesty of justice, and in this particular sense, now where people then take a legal action. Now, listen to this. When people then take a legal action, but that legal action, all the elements of them is so unfair, it's so biased that it look like say these people will take this legal action. Remember, it's a legal action that was taken, not for saying by side action was taken. It's a legal action. Then quote the constitution, then create the wherewithal for make the charge. And when they finally put the charge and suspend the woman, it says a travesty. So a travesty now just they walk on where people and they make a mockery out of we constitution, out of we legal system. When I want to talk about today, okay, the justice system is supposed to offer justice for everybody, every citizen in a republic. Some knocking get injustice then they, especially the one that we can fall below the belt, and they talk about socially speaking, the one they will not get, we can't afford because the justice system so biased. But at the same time, the justice system can go against very, very powerful people. Very, very powerful people. And in this case, as in many before, and I go name a few now, Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden was jailed. She was jailed. And we know waiting been pertaining to that jailing day of Dr. Olayinka Blyden, and waiting subsequently she went through in that jail. Most people believe, having come out from that jail day, she's never been the same. But that's an opinion of people out there. We go get for look for evidence for substantiate the claims being made. But the idea, she fell victim to the same government. She was jailed, apparently for expressing some rights. And not mean say the rights were right, but the idea, the processes and procedures, again, we get the benefit of hindsight, were foul play. The benefit of hindsight. Before Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden, another high-profile case was that of Paulo Conte. I know people who supports the regime, knocking leg for let people and remind them of this, because these same people went on the air and it's like, oh, it's true, without considering processes and procedures and waiting constitute the charge where they put Panam, including the government itself for charge a single man with treason. That would have been a record-breaking thing. Because never in the history of the world, never in the history of treason has a single individual ever commit an act of treason. And then we can go on and look at what's happening and all the explanation that we then present. I'm not going to go through that because we do a sustainable and exhaustive discussion on that particular issue regarding the former defense minister of the Republic of Sierra Leone, retired Major Alfred Paulo Conte. Una can go look the story them Baku, both now we own platform and other platform them. It's there. It's not going away. Sometimes we consign them to somewhere. And then came, Femi Claudius Cole went for go look for somebody, go visit somebody, and she was held. I think I and Diana Konomani go show solidarity with somebody who was held, and she herself was put under arrest. Listen to all of this travesty because now so you determine a pattern. And then Kamarimba Mansari, of course. Kamarimba Mansari, as we speak now, that man has spent over 3 Christmases inside jail. 3, which amounts to almost 3 years. So now over 15, 16 months, now that man they spent so inside jail. Today, we not hear this, neither that. If this is not travesty, that a leader of an opposition party can just be captured and jailed and the keys thrown into the ocean while the man continue for lavish. Where is, lavish na languish na jail? Sorry for the slip of tongue. I meant languish na jail. Where is the justice? So there has been plenty of travesty, plenty of it. Recently, there was a pronouncement made by, as I understand, the APC spokesperson, Mr. Sidi Yaya Tunis. Of course, Mr. Sidi Yaya Tunis, just like many others before him and after him, have got a right of expressing their views. But suffice me for say that even them views then come with responsibility. So when they offer you view them, it get for come with responsibility and due consideration of security matters. But it depends again contextually what you dey try for say. Are you calling for an uprising? Are you calling for people to be mobbed, to be killed? Which I not suppose that's the case because he was speaking to a particular issue. He was picked up or asked to report, and when he reported, and this is a normal process, suffice me again for say, I mean, CID can invite you for can have a conversation on different things that it could be particularly you, what you say, but can explain to we about what you mean. But again, the CID of late is being politically machinated, in which the only dispensation of justice is one-sided, is subjective and not objective. So many people then get qualms with the entire system. So we then see the Auditor General taking off her job. Auditor General of the Republic of Sierra Leone taking off a job, not on substance where we go establish shortly, because today we want put forward to una waiting we don't research, waiting we don't look at. Waiting at the reality, and you self go need for process that, and don't be carried away because you need for hold we self responsible. Now make we say we need to render judgment, but we they put out to you waiting available in its real form, because the thing that we will talk about now thing that we research, then get substance, we get references and citation to the laws of the country. So we're not making this up. So when we talk about travesty of justice in the case of the Auditor General who suspended stroke removal, like for put the removal, because waiting with the understand is seeing the back of this woman, because she's not the cup of tea of this present government. Neither was she the cup of tea with the past government. But the past government, waiting people and not go like for Yeri again, did carry her on for years while she was busy churning report after report that was antithetical to the gun government, which was used, those materials were used by the current government, which helped them into power. Now the same thing is being dished out to them, as the saying goes, what is good for the goose is good for the gander, and someone is crying. Someone is crying foul. Well, you can cry foul if you are being bullied or there is a travesty of justice. But in this case, not to you, then they apportion the injustice to. Now you instead they dish it out to somebody else. Somebody else where you been speak highly of. So what have they deviated into? Has there been any change, any U-turn, any turnaround, or is just the same trajectory this woman has been holding for 10 years plus some more? An impeccable woman, impeccable career. And now her character is being smeared, perpetuated by people within the establishment and picked up by the establishment, the minions, the vuvuzelas, for help for tarnish the character of a good name. Do you even know that that in itself is a chargeable offense? But we'll never see charges, brought against that. Or maybe Madame LARA Taylor need for take action for people them, because we country them. Let me remind people them, we country is a country of laws. How those laws are applied now in the question. So it's an issue of not only the action taken, but the procedures and processes involved in the action taken. This is what most people have got issues with. So we understand, say, the mommy herself don't clap back. She was promised a 3-man tribunal. We go look into the issues. I go try for Fen the interview by Mohammed Rahman Soare, sorry. We hold an interview with the BBC stringer. We talk them. We go play Amuna self make the decision. We go try for find that. Okay? So the travesty of justice na legal action where people then take, because now it make we all follow. because the people that will take the action, now big people and people in government, when they expect them for involved in yuki business. But then, many months on after the suspension, we are beginning to see a kind of a mockery of justice. What's going on? What's going on with my internet, huh? What's going on with my system? Okay, I'm still live. Okay. Sorry, Fambule, me both me preview and me live view just disappear. Oh dear. Another fiber opticals are they don't they struggle with this for many years, but people have been following. And thank God, yeah, most of you have kept the faith and you are still with the platform. Let we continue for share. I'm still live. I mean, just to develop this story, and then suddenly a distraction. Let not be saying now that they try the platform or because we're not giving up. We're gonna say what we want to say here tonight. Okay, that was just a light-hearted humor. With the case of Mami LARA Taylor, we know say na international standard anywhere in the world except na kangaroo justice, yeah, or them bioko courts them. But when they talk about sober countries, any side where they charge you with a crime, party man, then go get forgive you the reason why they charge you. In other words, most people can call and charge sheet. And I sure saying so they call and dong na salon. You will be provided with a charge sheet. Absolutely. And inside that charge sheet they then go outline the detail of waiting and they accuse you of or waiting and they charge you for. And then the police go get for make a decision, after the interrogation and uncharge you and make a decision whether for forward this thing na court. Because now only after like what I've been speak to earlier on, when a court of law, competent jurisdiction, find you guilty of a crime, then obviously you then become labeled because a court of law in the country don't find you guilty. Most people are abusing that privilege. And like in the case of the mayor, I see people and they call him Tiffy Tiffy Jankoliko. And you get for wonder why. Serious, supposedly serious people. Why would you be doing that when you know we legal jurisprudence say you are innocent until proven guilty? The mayor we know stands accused, but nothing. Of course, she's denied the charges, but nothing stands as she's been prosecuted, convicted of as alleged. No, so she's still, a free woman, okay, and an elected mayor for that matter. Now, let we go deeply. I think I don't provide enough context, enough background into this story. So one of the questions we want to ask is whether the Auditor General can be sacked. I get few people and we ask me that question if they can sack the Auditor General. Or some people have been even sarcasm, especially when it comes to the mayor. I am not of the opinion, not even my opinion, my belief, legally speaking, is no one is above the law. Not even the president is above the law. Not even the president. So just as the president is not above the law, so is Yvonne Akisoya, and in this case, what they talk about tonight, LARA Taylor. They are all susceptible to the law. They have to answer questions, and if found guilty by a competent jurisdiction, most likely jurors of their peers, then of course that's the interpretation of the laws of the country, not a one way that they manipulate for suit some political agenda. I am talking about the law which is blind or supposed to be blind when it acts. So yes, Mami LARA Taylor, like everybody else, is beneath the law. And even though she can be fired, but the only people that we can really do that are parliament. Parliament. This with parliament we don't come under the hammer lately for exactly the reasons there are and many. There's a program coming up about parliament. Yes, parliament they sack, can order or can sack the Auditor General. So that answers the question. She can be sacked or suspended, but now parliament now can do this. Let's clarify that. So one of the questions now being asked, who suspended her? Was in parliament? A, B, question mark, question mark, question mark. Who? Who? But we do know and we can mention the president in name, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, retired Brigadier Julius Marabio, ordered the suspension of LARA Taylor. Or we can keep that secret for a moment. Maybe at some point in the program, we can put them out after we don't develop the case so strongly. Because the question will be, in this case, who is the complainant? Now, who are the complainant in this case? Last week, we do a program on the same Auditor General. We asked that question there. Now, who are the complainant? We need for know who are the complainant and waiting and complain about. Because other than that, everything else has been shallow. Imagine they say lack of professional thereof. Now, so they take suspend the woman. But and according to Mohammed Rahman Soiree, the Minister of Information, there has been, and at a paraphraser now, there has been several allegations of professional misconduct and lack of thereof. Who did? Now, who that really accuse them? Where the complaint sheet, but we can't do that. I think so I'd only but who emphasis on that. Okay. So if now the case say LARA Taylor is found wanting, or there is some allegation levied against him by other professional people regarding in job, okay, there is a process. Tonight, the buzzword mainly is going to be two. There will be many others, but two processes and procedures. As Unayeri from the beginning, I say there is nothing wrong when action is taken, legal action is taken. Now, waiting basically follow. In other words, where the processes and procedures followed before you initiate your action. That's quite important. Too important to be missed out. And yet we get this wallow inside social media with propagandists them just to try for confuse people, some knowingly, some unknowingly. Fools just the cause for the center for the shake with this the proposition then with they make or propaganda case then with they make. But here are the questions, Salon people them, and we need for take note. So if anybody make allegation against the mommy, now parliament business dandy, and that has to be examined by the JLSC, another institution where mommy been the head, Basita, one of them salient voices them of we system, Basita Michael. This is not her first time. She's been primarily in the news for absolutely, in my opinion, and justifiably so, for all the right reasons. She's raised questions when things are not right because she's of the legal mind. And how you go sit down within the portal, you legal and justice system, and then you know the talk. Not to only know the talk, because if you know the talk, then you are complicit. But much more, you are participating in the trashing of a legal justice system. No, she's not had this at all. So anyway, now the JLSC now in the complaint they go to. When that complaint, now the process now they tell una so, as per me understanding, and una need for check this up so it doesn't stop here as to what they say. But this is serious. Processes and procedures has time and again been abused. Been abused intentionally in many cases, just for have a desired outcome. Sometimes created so you can get the desired outcome. Tailored patterns so you can get the desired outcome. So the JLS in they refer to the president. That complaint they would receive. Was that done in this case? Was that done in this case? We get the answer, but we want for let una go do una background research on ourselves, so at least una understand these things. What we need for set clear is the president himself and not get that power there for sack the attorney general as much as the man is powerful and some people in here as a semi-god. And not get that power there for sack the auditor general. So if complain and una take note, Fambulem, very important. If there is a complaint against the mommy, or who ever occupy that position there, this now the process and procedure we involve. Okay. If there's a complaint against that person who occupy that position, the auditor general in position, then the president can then step in and suspend, not even fire, but suspend, which in this case he did. But remember, we talk about processes and procedures. That's what we talked about earlier. Again, I just check my video because this broadcast is seem to be hot tempered and seem for the play up. Okay, okay, it's live. It's live. We expect more. We view them viewership, live viewership. Friends, enemies, and foes. You are on a let we shape. The one that say we not watch because they go all side. Then go get compelled for CM. So they are allow we continue for shape in as much as we number low. But I know say na broadcast we get for go viral. Good evening from Bangor, Northern Ireland. My dear brother and friend, Delwyn Thomas. Welcome to the then and now TNN Media Empire, my brother. Okay, so let me continue. So we did, like I say, there is so much case for make here. We dey talk about what the president can do and what he can't do. The president cannot sack the auditor general. If there's a complaint against the auditor general, the president can then act on the basis of that complaint by suspending her. So here is the twist. You know, say from the beginning, Fambu, not to this exactly happen, not to so. So as they get along and the case they develop, I they speak now from Raman Sware, the information minister. He tried for come and twist them and give them a twist on the BBC. Okay. But of course, the journalist was not having it. But professional journalists, that's what they do. They run rings around you. Not so then they make the decision on people and where they watch. And you will notice say that the Honorable Minister of Information, a man who I like very much, really try. But how do you expect him to try when the obvious is so obvious? But then he got for go out there for go defend the undefendable. So he try for make them as if there's been a complaint. Well, if there's been a complaint, who complained? And the complaint where you say was giving, an in try for hard day because then they talk about unprofessional thereof. But according to Mr. Romanswari, there have been series. And the paraphrase them again, I hope I find the tape and play on for now. There have been series of accusations from people them where accuse the mommy of professional misconduct. Just that these people are not so named. Probably it's been kept secret. When the tribunal go into gear, then maybe their names then they go come out. But we are yet to hear. But let they go before. So all this talk about the mami inability for not able for doing duty and lack of professional thereof, some misconduct, all of this amounts to the same thing of removing a judge. So in fact, the mami in Canada job they on par with a judge, and judges are very, very powerful people. The bottom line is the president cannot sack her, the president can suspend her, which he did. But the basis of the suspension in terms of procedural processes, there are improprieties to that particular format day. And this is what professional people, sane people, are complaining about. Sane people and are complaining about. You know, Fambulem, this is not ordinary. Like when they accuse them of professional misconduct and thereof and blah blah blah. Remember, say that's also assassinating your character. Imagine what in character mean. Now, person will definitely go, they try for protect in character because in one left a good legacy, which is done very well so far until these so-called complaints against her for professional lack of professional thereof was brought against her. You see the problem? Family, when I see the problem right there, I dey look for Raman in video, the Minister of Information, because it's important that we play him. Honestly, it's important that we play that audio, not a video. It's important. Let me see if I able to quickly, because it also form part of the context of this particular conversation, which is so far very, very interesting. Even by myself with the lady case. Even by myself with the lady case. Very interesting, my dear. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. So there, now just bear with me. Now that audio day of the Minister of Information pertaining to this case and on an interview from the BBC, now they talk about. Yeah. Now in adjust they look for. Yeah. I really want to play them. Good morning, good afternoon. I really want to play them. Yeah. I really want for play for Una. So Una, just bear with me. There were howls of protest, and they came from a wide array of voices, including civil society and the National Auditors Group. Even an international umbrella group of state auditors described the action as backsliding of democracy. What has shocked most, though, is that no one said exactly what the Auditor General did wrong. So I put that question to the Information Minister, Mohammed Swari. We have received various allegations of unprofessionalism and sundry other offences, including breaches of Public Financial Management Act of 2016, Fiscal Management and Accountability Act of 2017, amongst others. You've quoted a number of acts there. What exactly are you alleging she's done wrong, specifically? This is exactly the reason why His Excellency the President has set up a competent three-member tribunal to look into the various allegations I've just leveled. We are confident that tribunal will be independent, will be fair and just to the tribunal that has been set up by professionals who have had an average of over 60 years jurisprudence in Sierra Leone. The chairperson was a Supreme Court judge. She retired last year unblemished, so she brings to the table a lot of experience. The other two are also qualified justices of the Supreme Court, so you can be sure they will not mortgage their integrity for anything. You say that, and yet one of the senior lawyers, you say you've appointed this tribunal, but a senior lawyer has now resigned from her position. She's the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, says it's wrong for this tribunal to have been established without first allowing them to determine what's a valid case for the Auditor General to answer. I'm not a member of the JLSC. I've also read on social media the reasons for her resignation. Okay, Famulem. Make I just stop right there because there's enough said there and when I hear for una self. So this is what we say, yeah, that journalists and professional journalists then can run rings around people. And in this case, especially because Mohammed Rahman Sware is a well-spoken guy and understand the language matter. But in this case, it's difficult for him for defend something of this kind because I don't know how to describe him. There are so many fault lines along the way in the suspension of this Auditor General that for can't defend her now, especially on an international media such as the BBC, where the whole world is listening to you, una yeri for una self. Lack of professional thereof that she's been given a day in court. Which court? How did he come to that in the first place? You feed them with the information we necessary for let it get for go into action. Like if you go defend yourself, that's what we're saying. There will be a charge sheet. So you go don't inform the person and you don't support them with waiting in need in terms of the accusation we levy against them. Has this been done in this case? Only this flimsy talk of lack of professional thereof and this conjuring of people them have been complaining. Who are these people that have been complaining? Who are they? Who is the complainant in this case against Mami LARA Taylor? This thing is smelling fishy. This is smelling funny. And it's really not funny, but it smell funny. And there's a backlash to it because as we speak now, there's an affidavit being supplied and forwarded to the courts. In other words, the Mami now don't sit down for this while and decide for take action because, of course, they get for try for clean up in good name. Anyway, um, the other things that we didn't do to him, not of us say a day in a position where you're not able to conduct the affairs of this Auditor General thing where they do, and a big job. And you can imagine if the job where they do now, we try for establish motive and just briefly, if the job where they do, okay, is sort of the point finger somewhere. And I repeat 3 times because since 2018, all audit reports has been owned by the SLPP government. All audit reports since 2018. And we can go into those reports and members say, people let me they make all these big arguments. In other words, them mean they agree with the audit report technically because their understanding was there were outstanding issues. So then outstanding issues then they belong to the previous government. So therefore, this government not responsible for 100% of waiting and the sole name inside a particular report. That was dangerous. That was funny. That was low-minded because people that we don't understand banking, financing, auditing begin for weigh in something where there's some complexity to it, and you can weigh in because basically something else inside, but some complexity. There. Like for example, I've been here for speak to lawyer Ade Macaulay, where we dey get na this platform on Friday. Lawyer Ade Macaulay go there on this platform for clarify boku boku thing them for opening my eyes to many things on the basis of in don't serve, so there's experience. But even when he said that, I'm not taking word for that, but it just lead me for open up me horizon, for look up for more detail, more research materials where I can reference to. So now the same thing with this Auditor General in business, we don't can engulf the entire country because it seems like the action taken against her get boku boku poke mark. If you sifter, you know they able for whole water, it a leak. It a leak. So the mommy don't clap back, it don't tender in an affidavit for clear name. And inside the affidavit, the fambulem is heavy. The bombshell is heavy. Let me get that right. When I listen to Mohammed Rahman Swahili just now, and when I listen to the journalist, for ourselves, not to me go make that summation there. I know what I get from there. But to every clear mind, every objective mind, you know exactly what that interview was. Would that come out clean? It's not because you talk, because you can talk, but did you address the issues? You hear the journalist ask him at one point directly, when normally journalists not go do. But because he was going around in circles, the woman say, but you not present nothing, you not say nothing yet. You just dey throw words around. Where is the substance? But not many people they look at that depth. Not many people. But that was it. So the end of the day, not provide no substance other than just banding words together and just throw them to we because italics say, when they talk to we, then barely not get regard for we. They can just talk anything. Anything. So Fambule, you go back again. Uda complain. Or Uda then complain. And the reason why the complainant is serious on this particular case of the Auditor General, the complaint way we common do. Una listen, last week when I've been to do the program on the same mommy, I talk about when you lie, okay? I think that be combination of when you lie or the LAC program as well be involved. When you lie, the police they detect that. Oh yes, it was people talking about forensic. So forensic is good. It comes in, very critical at some critical point in an investigation, but circumstantial is equally productive. These are some of the other things. Sociologically, psychologically, come on. You dey talk to police and you dey lie. Your statement not consistent. One moment you said this, and when we interview, and remember I said then people are trained for this. But anyway, back to this report. I mean, the accusation against the AG, the suspended AG. Waiting and put out day. Remember, the question I just asked this now. Now Uda then complain. Now Uda then complain. So whether not individual or individuals, but waiting we know for Raman Soare in interview, you see now there we get at the beats. So if there was an interrogation, then same beats there, now in the interrogator go the clip from and try for combiner and make sense. Who is saying what, when, who, where, how. That's how exactly it works. So all anything there we then put out, they not tell we who that complain. And indenting and the way they talk as in lack of professional thereof, and the other one them violation of 2017 fiscal law, 2016 fiscal management law. There is nothing that talks about the mami not get ability or an inability for professionally perform in duties. Nothing like that. Then take we for a ride. But not all of us should be taken for a ride. Say Raman also talk, na make Kasila play for una. He also talk about, professional misconduct. Yeah. In Mami LARA Taylor, remember I say not a small woman. No, it's not about she as the individual, but the office where they occupy. And therefore she becomes relevant to that particular office the way they occupy, because there are criteria or requirement for the office where they occupy. And this office, na high office, an office of credibility, an office where you are well learned in terms of the particular office. In this case, accounting, you don't win all kinds of things locally and internationally. And she has a reputation both internationally and domestically for that same work way they do. Now they accuse her of gross misconduct. Can you imagine after all these years you don't protect this your reputation, then there's somebody come simply because as we see now, you business way now for audit government services, ministry departments, and you name it, it not go down well with one set of people. So then create a charge because it's not new. This is not something we don't do for quite a while. But in this particular case, with Mami LARA Taylor, for let them make that charge day, somebody with some kind of authority, somebody way competent, not to just anybody, somebody way competent for don't make that report day against them, lack of professional misconduct. Because remember, now high threshold, now we talk about so. So if person make that report day, it get for be of that level day for understand that and complain. Because remember, the reason why I say because not all small people and they get affected by their decision, then yeah. If you know what I mean. Waiting they do, in fact, the woman in job role, now for make sure say it protect the nation, 7.5 million, the national coffers. So then go benefit from them. In this case, it is the reverse where they happen. Corruption on a massive scale is being performed, it's being conducted by a group of people who are above certain level. Just one small cabal. They are the establishment. And again, I say this, out of the audit report where some of the people them get questions about. Just a tiny number of people get questions about. So somebody of competent authority therefore accuses Mami of not being professional. And in this case, remember, say, LARA Taylor get license. You know, auditors, they normally have license. They get but where they can go through exams where they can take in different levels. And for let you attain that level, imagine what you would have gone through. Years of being studious, years of you just the spend your time with heads bent down. They try for figure out this kind of discipline where you go into and how you they become a reputed person, a good accountant general where they meet that threshold they are set, not to them funny job them. So it get a license for perform the task them way they perform as Auditor General of Sierra Leone. So when they talk about competent people, remember say then people and they where they inside that body, that same place they inside that woman they because I hear some Sierra Leone and them. Not in one grain auditor general, not in one grain confirm. Can you imagine that? Such is the kind of arguments the way we make. Now, when I look at that body and that threshold, it is true that she's not the only auditor general or not the only qualified person on that level. We get few Sierra Leoneans them of equal status. But she happened to be running that place there, and what is being done to her has question marks. Now you need for imagine before you begin for make the argument and they or begin for follow. Because some people and follow, they can follow. You know, they look at in total what is wrong. The abuse of processes and procedures is the problem in here. So it's not like the president hasn't got a right for suspend the auditor general a day within in remit, a day within in prerogative. Yes, he can. But not just out of whimsy, like he sleep, he grab in the morning, he get bad feeling about the auditor general, bap, because he get boku power, he fire him or he suspend him. No, it doesn't work that way because these things will be challenged. And then you they put yourself in bad book because why would you want to fire the auditor general like a lady case just now if complaint not come up from some side can't to you for can't tell you say this man may not they perform well especially within the audit services Sierra Leone with incompetent company them impair them and then they can't make that case day something is wrong. But yet now you come on a do now I make you Mohamed Gaman Soare try for make the case say there have been many complaints than an abstract, than a red herring, than a red flag taken into and say there have been many complaints. By whom? Who are these people who don't they give the complaint? Then maybe we will therefore go into the audit services itself and see how this mommy don't they perform, whether people had issues with them or the complaint come up from outside and who are these people? Because once you begin for name, let's say, i.e., the president is one of the complainants. Why is he complaining? He could be right because the report has not been favorable to him. It has not been favorable to him. So he complained. But on whose basis where they complain? Did she get it wrong? Because if you get it wrong, for accuse the president of the kind of serious malfeasance, frivolous spending by the first lady, then you are in hot waters, you are in trouble, as long as they can prove that. But also because you know like him because of what they say we're righteous, so you decide for pull him. It doesn't work that way. So now what we understand from resources, and we can put one and one together because many things don't filter out. The president not be want for let this report come on a do. And especially the woman we author the report. This is not the first time we are saying this. We've said this before that fingers point to the president as the complainant. The president did not like the idea at all. He might not be like the idea. Waiting to go on. Because this report is damning to him, damning to his wife, damning to his cabinet, damning to his government. So you see the motive. There's a motive there established on who are those who will not really want this report to be published, especially by the author. A, the president. B, the first lady. C, all the others who are part of the government, who are involved. And the audit report specified that. And not only talk about missing billions, it also apportion, the responsibility as to who are responsible, if not to mortarman them, Of course, you know, go on for name what man but ministry. Let us say the state house where the president resides, where the president operates from, is hugely implicated in this particular report we come out. Hugely implicated. Now, you will ask the question, is Madame LARA-PEARCE still or the lie? Is she lying? The simple answer is no, no, she's not lying because the report is there. Nobody has disproved the report. Nobody. Because the report points to facts. Now, audit, now audit. What you give them, now a put there. Then you go now for go, balance both waiting you say and waiting physically available. You may say you go buy 10 a boat. Okay? You submit the receipt for $5 million. Okay? We don't see the receipt for 5 million and we don't take that inside government coffer for go buy the boat. Now, where are these boats? And then it begin turn story. Owner 2 come, or the other 3 is stop halfway, it broke down the road, and the other 6, the supply not supply it over this period of time. Yes, some of these can become outstanding issues, but some of them the story not just match up. And the Mami get a duty, a constitutional obligation for balancing book, because of the authenticity of the report and how you clarify your name. This is it. So we don't begin to see potentially who are most likely the people them way no go one for that report they come out. Now, earlier on I talk about the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, which now the JLSC, which one time was headed by Basita Michael, a very good woman. When I say good woman, in respect of constitutionality, in other words, in profession and obligation, in definition and requirements for in job. She's been good so far. In my opinion, okay, in my own opinion, I followed her. I intensely begin for Falaram during how you call them the Bintumani 3 conference, which was meant for provide peace. Again, there was a broadcast on that when I can check with YouTube channel. It is there. Now they are beginning for intensely and religiously begin for follow this woman. And then go back and begin look at previous things then we don't do. This is how you research, compare and contrast, and look for peer review for give some credence to the story where you talk about. So not to any Jack and Jill story, or you go do one basic Google research where me self can put something at Google and then you come out with them and you think this is the case. No. Do a little bit of work. Basic, yes. So yes, I don't follow Basita Michael for quite a while, and I was very impressed with his position during the Bintumani 3 conference, and I agree with him altogether. The Bintumani 3 conference was a front. It was a farce. There was no intention for peace. Same thing they only do from that 10 day up till now. There was no intention for peace. You come, you try for institute boku things them, and not to out of the right way. Not to out of the right way on a visit back 3.5 years ago. And then because people then push back, the country became tense. And you were advised by your international donors and partners, say, look, you have to extend an olive branch somehow on a need for talk peace because the tension is getting so thick that you can cut on with knife. Remember? President went on for call over half of the population because I shaped the membership, between the 2 major parties, them, although that's not exact. But let me say, the ruling party then get over 2 million supporters, 1 million supporters. So they get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that really support them. But then the president go on for label the other side, say they're all not terrorists. Imagine that was a shot. It's like when they say you shoot yourself by your foot, or the Chinese man, and I think saying that the same analogy have been given, which is about 2.5 years ago. Go play that tape one of these days. Chinese man can say you manage for ace one big stone. You don't ace and up, don't struggle, but only for manage for left arm, right pan tap your foot. That hurts, isn't it? That's exactly what happened. Then table conference day, and then the conference was full of hypocrisy. Because the intention was never clean. It was never clean. And social scientists, then women, they follow then, Then see the attributes them and no say, this is not confirm. Something is wrong. And it was just a front for deceive others who were in the least suspicious. And that's exactly what happened. And this lady Basita will make a Gida analysis. They're going back to Bintu Mani 3 conference, peace conference, so-called peace conference, spoke at that particular conference because some of them were given the high ground or the powerful bullhorn. And they spoke, and she used a bullhorn on that occasion inside that whole day judiciously and for once a short of word because I get a bit emotional because I remember exactly what he said. She was so spot on. She was so right. He articulated everything about a so-called peace conference as it were. As it were. And that cost them a lot. But waiting be important now, you conscience. So we still get Sierra Leoneans of conscience. Sierra Leoneans who are still conscionable. Because they feel saying that everybody, okay, you get one job yonder, you they make so much good money, and you can't afford, especially with these powerful people, for go against them. Because if you do, you go lost your job. Basita did not give a butut, a shilling, a pence. She spoke truth to power. She spoke in behalf of the body, the large majority of Sierra Leoneans. And she was correct then, she's correct now, and she'll be correct in the future. And posterity therefore be kind to them. And since then, they don't take many actions. They don't make many pronouncements which are in tandem with the justice system, the legal justice system. They're calling for judicious activity relevant to the law, applicable to the law, not cut and corner side. That's what this lady has been doing. And in this case again, with LARA-PEARCE Taylor, she's been damn right. She headed the Judicial Services Commission. She found out, and we all get the benefit of hindsight again, that foul play was used. The service, I call them foul play, I can't find a better word, was used for suspend this woman because what he been do, a certain group of powerful people not been like that. Chernobyl has been doing the same thing, the Africanist press. But then long arm cannot reach Cherno. Had they been able to reach Cherno, of course, the story, it would have been completely different now. They've approached him, we know this for sure. They've tried to Armstrong him, to blackmail him, to bribe him. Chernobyl has resisted every one of those. Yeah. Because again, like I say, there are Sierra Leoneans who are conscionable. Yes, you can get your political stripe, but waiting we can always say that this platform is you therefore let the country prevail over everything else. Sierra Leone is primary, everything else is secondary in this kind of conversation that we are having. So Basita has been outstanding. She's been stellar. She's been everything way you can think about justice. She's been in this case. And Fambule Muna, check them up. This is not only me saying it. These are just facts. And this is what we can challenge the other people and with. We're speaking facts. We're speaking about the country. You're speaking about party. Okay? Basita refused then, he refused now, and she refused in the future. And her place is secured already, in legacy already secure. And on that basis, on a conscionable basis, based on waiting and do to Madame LARA-PEARCE Taylor, not out of emotional, out of professional thought, legal, she couldn't bring herself, here for contemplate with that kind ridiculousness or the travesty way they commit. Just riff-raff the law. And she, an outstanding lawyer and head of the JLC Commission, we're supposed to take part in that process there because in terms of processes and procedure, now in the canto and go the other way. Now then they forward that complaint, they say, well, this is the complaint we have received, and then put together it's like a regulatory body, and then put together all the evidence where the complainant then send and then forward them and recommend. That's the procedure. Fambulem. If we don't know the complainants them by now, if we don't know them by now, the questions here that beggars believe is now who that then get for go put the evidence in a court? This 3-man tribunal where they organize. Will they come to the compilation of the tribunal because Panda brief interview of Mr. Mohammed Rahman Swari, the Honorable Minister of Information, Yugo Yeri, he rushed quickly to because he's trying to escape from all the other things them and just want, talk quick, and the journalists will not have it. You've said a lot of things, paraphrasing the journalist. You said a lot of things, but nothing of substance, Mr. Minister. We don't set up a tribunal, a 3-month tribunal, so she will have a day in court. But how did we get there? You're not interested in that, Mr. Suare? How did we get there in the first place? Where would they give the woman a chance for go get in dinner court? Was it necessary? How did we get there? That was the question. And you haven't told her anything, only on this flimsy basis with no substance, just a lot of talk. So, but anyway, with the so-called quasi process that have been set up, in which one of the justices, I believe, was found wanting, because of compromise or some kind of interest, that person was removed. But again, the people that were supposed to form this particular tribunal by law, we go get for see whether they meet that threshold. Because by law, it defined now who that them for make up that tribunal. You can't just jump section 1, 2, 3, 4, where deform them, not tell you, say, if you don't answer A, for those of us who don't fill forms, if you don't answer to A, you can skip paragraph or section 2, 3, and 4, and then you can jump straight to 6. In this case, you have not been given such an instruction because level A, part A or part 1, not rise up to that and instruct you as such. But in this case, some people they don't seem for jump straight to 5. Straight to 5, where 5 not tell them so. Say not to so them for do. So the question here is, then we get for no who are the complainant. So you see, these things are all being made up now because you get for offend complainant because now so the law say. Or are they willing again for butcher the law and just get away with them? Say, well, we can do this, we can do that. Because that's what the law says. Mind you, when that tribunal they shall sit, and probably now in the delay all this thing because you now need for put an evidence together. You probably don't act first. Don't take the action. Now you remember how you get for back up these actions, and they go back to me saying earlier, when you lie once, you go lie the second time, the third time, because you have to lie to cover a lie and lie for cover the lies, and so forth and so on. And when a professional interrogator investigates you, it's easy for letting know. It's easy. Not from only what you say, you face they tell all of that. And they communicate to them, I am lying. Yeah. So you get for make up all of this. And this case is serious because back again, if all of this should come out into the public domain, it puts the state house, the president, in disrepute, and is supposed to be the fountain of honor. We don't see many things like the speech I talk about terrorists, name your nation them, and away from your nation itself. From yourself, the idea that you just send a negative message to the international community, potential investor, them direct and indirect, to about your country, that your country, half of your population are terrorists. Who comes to invest in a nation that has been declared by the president as a nation full of terrorists? Who comes to invest in? Now would I get a stupid money in it? I understand say the president got upset with that speech later. But of course, then after people that don't come and can tell and it's like, come on, where did you come from with this? And the speechwriter, then Dr. Tambi them, Mr. 3D. Remember, at some point, the people that were in the pool, this 3D picture them, where we picking and can do per computer of projects, airport projects, massive markets, malls, shopping centers, where you can do in 3Ds. Now, in this man, they do. They sell this to the president, and then they take them and put them out, and their minions and their foot soldier, then take them and parade them all over the place. You know, the 3D effect that the airport, where they don't draw that project they done. You can see them, it can tilt, you can show the underground, you show the control tower, you show plane and they come, you show inside with all them colors, then the graphics, propaganda, runway, modern, everything. Shopping mall, this, that, European and American value standards. All this was propaganda because 4 years on, we are yet to see all of this. How did that help you? But not when we talk about today. Family, when they talk about Mami LARA Taylor, the Auditor General of Statistics Sierra Leone, who was suspended from a job, and we ask the question, we beg her the question whether that suspension day was unconstitutional. We are asking the question whether that suspension day was unconstitutional. And now that we dey try for establish today, but we dey make the case. You, as the listener, we dey ask you for let you come to your own conclusion yourself. This is what we are doing here tonight. Family, and this is the Then and Now Media Empire, TNN TV Media Empire. Today, the 9th of February 2022, me now una host and presenter Prince Emil Kuma. They come to una live from the United Kingdom. There's about 70 of us. If we can just double this number, 70 times 2, please continue for share. It's important that others get for listening to this conversation and then they make the decision themselves. This is 60 years in the making. And not forget, we also they do advert on the platform, so we are not giving up. We know Sierra Leoneans, they are for take responsibility in this type of regard, even for spend small money, where your business go multiply because other people in the area and you they help you company as well. So if I go buy you Casada leaf, I pay 50p, maybe you go take that 10p and give them back to me if I advertise your platform. That's how a community become steadfast, strong. Because we share we wealth among ourselves before we take them finally and can go out to other people them we most likely go use them against me and you. So let we do we only interview. Call them interview. Sorry, we only add what we get on the platform. Take a look.
It shock you.
Wow, I like the setup and decor. Quite impressive.
You've not seen anything yet. Wait until you taste the food.
I can't wait.
In a sense, money making. Look at that.
I am sharper than knife, I am sharper than nail. Them are small like ant, I am bigger than whale. My Baba gonna lift you up. Nobody will make you drop. Nobody will.
In Brixton, we do more of African food and seafood as well. In Peckham, we do more of African food.
A reception or function of any type, this is the place to do it. Just do your booking on time and we can do catering for you.
So family una yeri na the information down the una yeri the last voice we tell you that this is the place to be and endorse and support that message day because I've been there myself a couple of times. The brother we also speak earlier before the last man who spoke is the CEO of the Mingles franchise and it's a place to be, honestly. I mean, there are two of them, one in Peckham and another in Brixton. He's also done a pharmacy in Freetown, so you go hear about Mingles Pharmacy very soon. That's progression. This is progressiveness, and that's what we're talking about. On Saturday, for Una Wege, Una loved ones, there will be how you call them Valentine night, and if it's Mingles, it's got to be good. So get in touch. The details been in at the platform just now. Take the details or just Google Mingles. I mean, the details go come up and get in touch. Buy yourself and your partner a ticket and go have real fun. It's not just work. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Anyway, back to something more really serious, which affects the lives of millions of we compatriots. Now we talk about today. We now the Auditor General of Sierra Leone. We happen for be Madam LARA Taylor, who's been suspended, and the circumstances under which they suspend them. It looked dubious, it looked frivolous, it looked this, it looked that, very suspicious. And now we just delay the case in terms of waiting we don't get for understand now because it's been quite a while and we don't put few things together. Remember, say the mami self, they don't put an affidavit na the law, na the courts of law. If you want mess with me name, then we have to go fight it out at the court of law. Let we go fight them out there. And Fambudela say this, yeah. If you get case, we know say right now it's a difficult time for put cases across because for enjoy justice is going to be difficult. And I say this, most people not go agree with me, but when we speak on the record. And I can go on and on. Kamarimba Mansari is still in jail. Don't tell me that he was accused of penetrating an underage. I'm not interested in that anymore. I was interested, but I know say don't go beyond that. It has become a political thing. You know the show strength where we already know say you are very powerful, and then you take somebody, you consign an jail and take the key to away. That's not strength, that's cowardice. That's what it is. 30 day Yolam. There was another young man, Michael Magba. He gets all right as a Sierra Leonean under the very law for support whoever he wants support politically speaking. And he get right also under the constitution on the basis of freedom of expression. As long as step on somebody else in your freedom of expression, as in this sense. The man support the All People's Congress. He talk about the erstwhile president and some infrastructure then at the place where I come, I believe, Bo. Because of this young man was arrested. He was kidnapped. That's not even arrest. By a group of people who look like real rebels and put them inside motorcar and they go and investigate them. It's on camera. Where are these people? Where are they? And then in the end, the man end up in a court. The charges they will get against them, they not go along with that one day. They end up going and host and go find few paracetamol where you can take for a dick. Not something where you sell for saying a contrabando. Few. And then charge them on that basis day. And up to this day, they still harass the young man. So these are the kind of justices that we are talking about, which is lacking in the country. When we say what they say, we back them by evidence. And you may not like that. The reason why you don't like that, because you are supporting injustice. Have a thought process today and try to be constructively minded and think waiting you want for support. He who supports everything supports nothing. So we be asked, now who that get for present the case where finally, the evidence in a court, where finally this case turn up in a court. Who that actually get for present the evidence where this 3-man tribunal, where they not set up, go into action. And remember, it's been a number of months now. 30 days, it not happen. And the reason why I don't think they are not going to happen is either because there's a backlog, but a case as serious as this, as heavy as this, in which the Auditor General of the entire country, the woman charged with the responsibility constitutionally for audit, MDAs, is now suspended on charges where everybody don't begin to scratch their head, except the one that way fundamental, exceptional, with no condition, they support the government. But the evidence that are available now make beaucoup people and they scratch their head. Who are the complainant? So who that get for turn up? And remember, if we intimate say it's the president who complained against Madame LARA Taylor, he go appear for go give evidence to this tribunal? And the answer is an emphatic no. I repeat again, no. Big fat NO in cap or caps. Big no. The president is not going to do that. So we already can say that because the president not going to do that, and another thing again, will not want for belief saying that the president, the president not go through that. So therefore, something else has to be orchestrated. Remember, I talk about defending a lie by telling another lie and lies to defend the lies. This is the case. So now you get for begin cook up a good story because it's so damning to you as a government, as the fountain of honor. This is the thing. And you get for ask the fountain of honor. The fountain of honor has to ask themselves. How are the Sierra Leonean people and go take we? So far as don't they happen? Because they don't take we for quite a ride now. All of these things, Mami Basita not agree with the procedure and processes involved in this particular case. And as a person of conscience, he resigned in post Safu. This is what decent people do. So there's still decency or decent people left. They might be in few numbers, but I applaud this woman for the tenacity, the courage, the indefatigability, the strength for fend within himself at this critical time on the basis of conscience for release himself from this particular role. She can no longer serve the role conscionably because that means he go get for compromise. And who knows? She's probably been approached, just to the line, just follow us and we can make the difference for you. She said, no, not many of us can. We go bring me to that of the acting Auditor General Mohammed Aziz, where I go canto shortly. The acting Auditor General Mohammed Aziz. LARA, as I tell you earlier on, he don't put forward an affidavit, then a sworn business in a court of law for prove something, especially one levy against you. So you go on for challenge the people and we levy something against you. Let's just acknowledge people and the platform quickly. If you wanna go bear with me, please. Okay. Sister Janet Martha Musa, travesty indeed. Thank you, sister. That's what it is. Una need for look up today waiting travesty. Me look Sierra Leoneans, una need for wise up. The other day, una grab, una go stone the footballer then host because they don't win African Cup of Nations. Well, I can understand that. I don't appreciate, neither do I accept, endorse, approve of them kind of action. And these are acts of violence. But you're upset and emotionally charged, so you react as such. But where's this emotionality when it comes to people that will destroy your future and that of people and that of your unborn generation, destroy your entire country? Where is this generosity? That's what I'm saying. So, like I say, make I read few remarks them on the platform, and also we'll get some interesting ones and some good ones as usual. Okay. Mr. Junior Cabo, good evening, then and of course, Mr. Junior Cabo. Good evening, sir. Much respect. Thank you very much. Ramatu Kaloko, well done, guys. Thank you. And Mohamed Kamara, please let's begin to share. Thank you, Supermed. Moses Bangali, please, guys, let us see the live video. Of course, that was from the beginning. So let me just move fast down. Libra Sierra seems to be a first timer. The name is strange. Hello, brother. Hello, brother, wherever you are. Good evening. Prezo Song J-Man, greetings from Bristol, UK. Bristol. How you do, Bristol? Thank you very much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm good to go. So yes, hello, big brother. John JB Conte. Yes, brother Conte, how are you, Margaret? Say she must be fully paid for staying at home and with compensation. Yes, my sister, I won't believe say because that's another thing. She must be fully paid because that will be again. Except you want for be so gruesome, so vindictive, which is not strange. That can happen, but in this case, of course, you suspend them. You can't do it two ways because that will come back for bite you. So yes, you suspend them because the agenda, as we go understand them, not to for deprive them of money. If possible, we will do that. But now this report, now in the clear motive for pull you back away from them, and we will come to that shortly. Okay. Samura Kamara, Lara was elected by chairman and leader for life. We don't want a selected auditor general. Okay. I know say, Mr. Kamara, you can always come and make provocative thoughts, which is so alien. But in this case, you say something and you just take repeat them because the last time, other than the rubbish way you talk, this time you say something. But again, this is another rubbish that we don't want, blah, blah, blah. But that na in the process. So if we don't want a selected person, an appointed person, then maybe we can make a referendum for complaint against an appointed official of this great body called Statistics Sierra Leone. Okay, but for now, that's what the process is. So you can just out yourself with anything in it. Okay, go on now in ridiculousness. They can now. Now, yeah, we APC sack a sitting VP and they want to discuss a selected auditor general. I tell you the last time, that you make a mockery out of yourself. You're not doing this to me. It's a good thing. I go study your profile because it's important. At least, they come anonymously. You get a profile. That you make a mockery of yourself, you're a public platform, international repute. So you're doing this to yourself. You're entitled to what you say, but try for talk something constructive. Yeah, it is true that an APC sitting VP was sacked. We've adjudicated on that. We can still go on. That was wrong. We've addressed that. That was wrong. But are you saying that two wrongs make a right? That because that was done, so waiting, then YSF they do, they can do that? Of course, I'm a great influencer. And when I post them question there, I give you time for reflect and think. I see what you come back with the next time. Alimami Kamara, the vice president can be sacked by the president. Okay, that's another view there. Hi, Prince, your video is frozen. Okay, I think I'm back now. That was an old one. By the Sierra Leone Constitution, reasons being the vice president is not elected, but is only there to serve if the elected president cannot perform his duties. We will need to check that. Not sure what that is. Okay, some of you guys should be ashamed of yourselves and coming on out in defense of an inept regime that has no value for the citizenry of that nation. Where lies your patriotism to country rather than your loyalty to your political party, Sierra Leone and XYZ. Thank you very much for that contribution. Uge Abdullah Kamara again, man, you have to find things to do. Brother, you just like President Bio, where President Bio call you an idiot, and I guess for go out of me way for call you idiot. You are here on the platform. Haven't you got something to do? You're so disingenuous even to yourself. You need to think about these things, You the advice post is say find something for do, but you seem not forget something for do. And here you are. Every time we go live, you are here. But thanks for watching. Keep making a mockery of yourself, brother. Mayatu Kamara, she was not selected. She has been in that position since the late Pakaba's government. Okay, and I think that's a correction to, I think, what a guy named Samora Kamara. Probably not. Somebody may say the last name, not a real name. So he comes here, what have you. But as long as he keep him civil, he can make the erroneous statements and it's on him. Let's just keep it civil. So somebody say Lara was selected since Pakaba in term. You need for go look that up if that is true. So that just turn about you waiting self where you they talk about, yeah. Okay, let me continue. I mean, they say Lara don't submit an affidavit, a legal document for challenge waiting and bring against you and lay you your own claim. Waiting and they say it's not right, it's wrong, and this is blah 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 blah. So Lara don't table, and this is interesting. Una need. I know most of the people have read the affidavit. They've seen it. For them, when they don't see them, when I send me a message, yeah, and I will oblige for send that message. I mean the affidavit back to owner. Okay. Inside our affidavit, there are there are many interesting things. Few of them I want to talk about tonight. The violation of processes and procedures, Fambulem, una no say continue also. Of una no know, make a lady case back again. And then on the basis of Madam LARA-PEARCE in affidavit where it submit. Una no say when they suspend them from the job, they appoint somebody for filling the place. Of course, it makes quite some sense for appoint somebody for filling the place, the space. Now, what you would understand from LARA-PEARCE in affidavit is the man where they appoint. Family, these are the sins, the cardinal sins of this current government. Listen keenly. We've been saying from the beginning, the microcosm of this situation involving LARA-PEARCE, minute by minute, second by second. Now we present to owner, and I believe this is exactly what he really do. This particular man, Abdulaziz, not even qualify for sign the audit report. Okay. And even though that particular report they not complete, okay, it's an incomplete report. We know that now. First way come out, we suspected that. We see a few things missing. The doctoring and butchering of the report will not be get concrete evidence. So we opine and try to create the circumstances under which there is a possibility, because if you don't pull the person, we get the report. That you're not able for beer for like pull the report. Or you get for pull them and put somebody else, when you make for pull the report, obviously there's a motive. It's simple. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, ABC. That's how simple it is. You're not able for beer with them. Or you're so vindictive that well, this are not going to even get a chance for like pull them. Me they sack them, me they pull them, or me they suspend them. It come back to you, except you don't care. But these things will come for haunt you. And I can hear few people, you're leaving a legacy. Which legacy? It's going to be negative, especially on this basis. Especially on this basis. So, Abdulaziz, according to the Auditor General of Statistics Sierra Leone, suspended Madam Lara TAYLOR-PEARCE. The man appointed for replace him is not even a qualified person, accountant. In other words, qualify in the sense for sign the audit report. We mean to talk about the threshold of the level where the money been there. Because yes, accountants vary on different levels. Auditor General in level it go far beyond what we talk about, including, about this Abdulaziz guy. So Lara, by virtue of imposing in qualification, she can sign those audit reports. That's one of the reasons why make Ina be Auditor General of Statistics, Sierra Leone. So then go put a man where not qualify. Abdulaziz is not qualified for sign the audit report. And as a matter of fact, the audit report not even correct. They go sign up. All of this is on the government. It's on retired Brigadier Julius Mada Bio and the rest of in government. We sit down for let this to happen. And the president, don't forget about the other people. And the president, the blame day right now in doorstep in terms of this, because as we understand, he is the complainant in this particular case. He is the complainant. Complain as in Minister of Information say lack of professional thereof, but go on for buttress intentionally. That was just introduced in that interview, that there have been many complaints. Waiting now, they try for imply that many people, that are an introduction to that, because something else get for fallacy. These are the people. Once they don't offend the people, then they go present and say, these are the people. But then people, and they most likely get for come out within the institution itself, we're not satisfied with the work with the mommy they do. Because you can get on the outside and complain, you don't like the idea, because you are a victim of a report. When I say victim in this sense, negative. You happen for be at the end of the receiving stick of this report as per your engagement by the Consolidated Revenue Fund. As per the auditing process, you are found wanting the supplying of fake receipts. As much as the president have traveled over the 1 year period, all the receipts submitted are all pointed to September, inside 1 month. 1 month, amounting to something like 3.7 billion. That are the first receipts where they submit. And then after a few weeks, they came back with a set of receipts. A set of receipts. Same people that we tell we say receipt, not to evidence. So they then turn out with receipt because it turned out for the evidence in this case for make claims or for satisfy the criteria as per audit report. Can you imagine how reckless this is? The receipts turn out to be forged and all point out to 1 green month. And then bring another set of receipts a few months later, amounting to 1.8 billion or 1.08 billion. So a total calculation of almost 6 billion was spent by the president on his many travels abroad inside just the month of September, if we can go by the receipts alone. Famulem, una need for take note. Sierra Leoneans, when you forget up, and we're gonna break this down into an MP3 because we don't get calls from Sierra Leone. The calls are growing louder. And we understand that and we try for do that. So we are looking for technical people and for help with for do this. Not only for convert to MP3, we can easily do that. But we not just want to take we videos them, we audio them and throw them out there. We want to give them a label attached to us so you know that it's coming from the then and now, if you know what I mean. So anyway, Abdulaziz not qualified or Fambulem. He is not, simply put, a certified CERTIFIED auditor. Abdulaziz is not. Yeah, he's not. And the report we tender, we now know say the report is incomplete. Fambulem. I don't talk about this, and I go just do them in passing quickly. Up till now, apart from this frivolous conversation that ministers and innuendos and propagandists, vuvuzelas, minions, and foot soldiers are pontificating on social media as if not the gospel truth. But Sierra Leonean people know better that this woman, this very good woman, Mami LARA Taylor, I call her a very good woman because she still remains impeccable as I speak today. Because waiting with the understand, she's kept her dignity and respect for the better part as she's been a public servant. But today, there are people for their selfish interest where they try for tarnish in character, but they don't supply the affidavit. So we'll get for listen and see what they go on. We need a formal charge against her. If you want to listen to that interview again, Raman Sware, we've set up a three-man tribunal, so she will have a day in court. And he also went on to say, when it comes to accountability and transparency, on this government. Well, of course, that was that was speaking directly to his boss, Julius Maada. He will love that line. When it comes to transparency and accountability, this government is known, for those good virtues. I just a paraphrase again. Yeah, but he said along those lines. Family tribunal not able to investigate this mammy and look into the complaint we them present. If we only look at the constitution, and at the constitution now supposed for look at, and the tribunal now want tell you about now. The tribunal not confirm by law, not confirm, can look into the allegations as stable by who that ever table them. Because this person or person then we table them, we hardly not know them. Okay? Like you know this. According to the constitution, the people them way them pick. Because there is a clear definition about who that is supposed to constitute that tribunal. And I can say this as a matter of fact because the constitution is on my side that the people that way them pick, they not qualify for sit down at that bench day for go interrogate or investigate Madam LARA Taylor. According to the constitution, they can't. They're not fit. They not meet the threshold. They not meet the requirement. They not fit the bill. These people. Then 3 people and they. Again, we are speaking out of fact because the constitution is on our side. We're speaking to the constitution. I wish Fambulen can take time for beginning for fact. We will not say this on 3, 4, 5 years. It's good for that we do with due diligence as a people. That can help us. Help us very, very much. Then people and they're not qualified. I'm saying this today because it's the God-fearing truth as per the law of the country. So one go kind of think why Tati did and they drag them food. Imagine you suspend person all this time and like one of the sisters saying at the platform, she must be on pay. And of course, I believe that she's been paid. Other than that, if I don't complain, how you suspend her, you suspend her without pay on whose basis? But then this crime is really serious. But this is an egregious display by this government of cowardice, okay, and a travesty of justice and the abuse of the human right of the auditor, the suspended Auditor General of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Now, another thing we family need to know about Abdulaziz is that if you are not a certified accountant, this case don't come about family. If you are not a certified accountant, how can you sign this report? Because by law again, it says that you're not qualified to do what you did. I mean, either the government is exceptionally reckless because they should have known this, or they feel say they can get away with them, or it's the usual pattern. I mean, we can do this now, and especially because we are so desperate. Because remember, say, the report was time framed. That at some point in December, it will need for come out and not later. Because that in itself will have been an abuse of the process, a disregard for the law of the country, and that will have just made things to even look worse and continue for magnify the things in which people have not begin to believe in. So government in itself was in a hurry for make sure they get this report out. But when they do it in a hurry, I mean, we talk about hundreds of pages of report and not all they release because you can't release all. And we know that now. The Lebanese trip, they told us 170,000. 170,000. It was $500,000 that was withdrawn for that trip. And that was in the original blueprint of Mami LARA Taylor. That was butchered. We heard from some sources on the inside that Abdulaziz was a bit reluctant, but somehow they coerce him and bribe him for let it become the man we go sign him. But imagine this. The man has no certified qualification for signing the report. That in itself is a constitutional violation for those who appoint him, in the first place. So Fambule, when I see the lie for cover a lie and the lies and lies and lies. You cannot get away with this. No way. No way. It clear to we, and Parliament need for come out and tell us This is why people are complaining about the parliament. We come with parliament story soon. The parliament get the full report. The report that was released is not full. Now, if you cannot speak to that, it's because me go therefore say yaso today. It's not in the interest, in the national interest, but in people and selfish interests. And this goes to opposition party because you expect the ruling party parliamentarians for be subservient to the authority. Because other than that, they will just sort you out. We've heard it. Charges of anti-party activity. Then all them as mass and then committee the way you depend because that's what it is. You lose all just like they do to Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela. Same thing, but the opposition party get a duty bound constitutionally and to the electorates for say the truth and nothing but the truth. That's why when you go into parliament, although we know say not just exercise, you take a sworn oath on the Bible or on the Quran. For fear of God. But do they fear God? No, they don't, because they swear to one thing and they do the other. They do quite the other. So the parliamentarians, I get some apprehensions, I get some, your take on their performance. But in some cases, I hold them squarely responsible because that original report did it. If Abdul Aziz go abuse the process by releasing part of the report and a butchered one, then something really wrong and somebody need to speak up to it. Not only us, it has to be a concerted effort. Members of the judiciary, members of CSOs, members of the journalistic association or SLAJ, yeah, social media pundits, and you name it, a whole host or slew of people, members of the religious community, different communities that make up the country, stakeholders, they need for speak. Because when we speak in one concerted effort, then the denial cannot go on as it is. But when people and they do it individually, then they can use their own minions for come and counter us, even though it's not working, because they are losing ground bit by bit. Their numbers are shrinking because the reality is sinking into the mindset of the people. This not exactly they happen. Not exactly they happen. So then go present to Parliament, even though Parliament get the actual report, but during the presentation, a butchered one. But with the parliamentarian, where una? Especially opposition parliamentarian, the NGC, the C4C, the APC. Where are you guys? Where una people's credential? Eh? Where una people's credential? Earlier on, I think I say one of the reasons where you can suspend, pull the Mamina power, because members will be equate the job to that of judges on actions that can be taken against such people of this level or caliber. So you therefore they in a position where you might not sound anymore, almost like the president. You might not sound anymore, or you cannot perform your function because medically you are not fit. But none of this fits Mami LARA-PEARCE Taylor. None of it. But again, I will not establish the premise, the report we release, even in its butchered form, point to the office of the president, the office of the first lady, and many other MDAs under this government of retired Brigadier Julius Marabio of economic malfeasance, frivolous spending, rampant corruption, abuse of public office, public finance law. This is huge. This is heavy. And especially so on a government that came to conduct the business of government by holding orders who've stolen public money into accountability, which keeps true to the maxim that those who come with equity must come with clean hands. Are they? Fumble. Every good thing must come to an end. Like I say, the case has been laid here. Do not just take it from me. My argument here today, I have no doubt that is convincing because I've given you citations into the audit report, the names of people, references, citations, the Constitution, Finance Act laws. I've not been really specific to them because, like quoting, sending you to specific chapters and sections, but they are there. Yeah, they are there. I had a little slideshow that I prepared just to outline all of this. And I'm just trying to bring it on. For some reason, can't get it. So I don't want to go into that. So if they cannot prove the allegation, you can see clearly, I repeat one final time, because they're not able to prove the allegation, you can see clearly why the formation of this three-man tribunal is so difficult for form. Because the allegation, remember, the lies covering the lies and the lies and the lies and the lies. And it's becoming obvious. I wonder how they get for treat this in the end. Because they get for be some kind dry eye for go ahead and institute something. Like I don't outline, who are the complainant? Who are the complainant? And before you the complain, waiting at the case. Waiting at the case. Professional lack of thereof. Many people have complained, Abdul Rahman Suare. Who are these people? Who are these people? What are they waiting for? Has it been established to the woman who done and complainant them, or maybe they still they keep down there, but waiting she actually did? Una yeri the reporter they asked Rahman, you really know establishing nothing waiting the woman do. What do you do? You can't say. Famulem, these are interesting times within our country. Effectively, we don't come to the end of this program. But make I just conduct a quick summary. Madam LARA Taylor is an impeccable individual in many respects. We know say we country, like a country of laws, and you can take action, but the action the way you they take, waiting indicative of their action and they for be right, wrong, or an abuse of power. Now how you conduct the action them way you they take. Procedures and processes quite important in actions that people may take. In this case, the action we then take against the woman, it don't become so questionable, it don't become so open. Who are the complainant? Waiting at the complaint. Has she been furnished with the complaint we then levy against them? So that I go prepare. A panel has been organized, three-man tribunal. 30 days, the three-man tribunal, what exactly is going on? If the woman una can't establish the case against this woman, una be just make this frivolous accusation, we therefore tempt we for name the title of this particular program a travesty of justice, where we also go for define say it's a legal action taken. It's not like the action is not legal at the time it was taken, but it can be ripped apart and condemned because it does not rise up to the threshold of which it will be used for or try to accuse the person of. Because it's clear by now that it appears like the woman not commit any crime. Now some people are not been let for what he be they do, and what he be they do. This is how we establish the motive. It be the right report as mandated by the Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Pardon me. And that's what she does. Now, by mandate of the Constitution, now make the employer. So he continue for do that up to a point where somebody not can like the idea and waiting then at this report now charges of corruption pointing to the office of the First Lady and the President and other people. And obviously, if I were there, I wouldn't like it if Nami them been accused and a very powerful person for that matter. 3 years in a row, the SLPP owned the report from 2018, 2019, 2020. They owned the report. The one will be come up before then, 2017, 2018 was partly owned by the APC government. And when they talk about standing issues, they manage for dilly-dally we by all kinds of things. Say, well, this money not we take up, APC, the other term, them, okay, The other one now you own them. And for 3 years in a row, you are guilty as per the audit report. And this is why we say this audit report, this final one, because the money be just the increase, the trajectory of the money where the losses, it just the increase. So you defect corruption, but you not seem for the curb the corruption within your own body. And will be mentioned at one time in which we will continue for report these things. Because we know say, not all because they no like more, because there is a duty-bound obligation on we part for make sure say the Sierra Leonean people don't forget about this. We should not ever, ever forget about this. These people have been so much in denial, that the first lady don't come before we until we say the accusations made against them, initially by the Africanist press, is not real. In fact, it's false. The money they wouldn't they talk about is our own money. Me and my man, we work for them for 22 years. They labor. And we know what they mean because we save live here. For grab na money in other coal, like ice, like fridge. Now under them kind and you know what grab safe. But you can forgo because you get obligation. Also like free tour, you go they lie and your landlord, so you be out with me, this, that, and you still lay down inside the host day. No. Yeah, so you get obligation, you get so many bills, and that's how it work. And most of we work from paycheck to paycheck. When you earn your money, sometimes you need to touch yourself, then get direct debit and what have you. Before you look, they not scatter am for you like brown dog. But you go look, nothing no left. And because nothing no left, you get for struggle all over again. So it's a never ending. So little wonder why these people then go on now from them kind of struggle and the first lady been the tell saying that their own money. The Africanist press continue for press on. And then in the end, it was proven that this was not your money and you were doing some frivolous spending. And then she went on to accept and begin for justify waiting and paper. That in itself, Fambulem, it tell you the kind of people that we deal with. But there can be moments for forgiveness if the person we involve it show penitence, it show remorse, it left for do what they do. But in this case, this person or these persons, they not stop waiting and they do. Instead, then they evolve into something else. Always for deceive the broader masses of our people, the Sierra Leonean people. They use different means. Then catch them pandis, then provide explanation, deny say receipt not to evidence, and move, circumvent around the position and make arguments as time they go by and try for distract we with other things like the LAC case, where the man they pull video then 50 fatter now, just for distract we from the main thing where they put food now we table, or we're supposed to put food now we table. We're supposed to provide a good healthcare system, at least one that we can afford. Somebody just they tell me the other day say for do blood test nas alone 2 million or 1 million. I think 1 million because 2 million sounds so ridiculous. I can't even remember. But I know say I agree million. A million begin from one. Can you imagine? Who's the average man they pull on day? Where salary na 500,000 as per law. Minimum payment, minimum salary, 500,000. How many people in the maker? How many people in employment? How many people in they get sick, stress, mental problems, and what have you? Who can afford those things? So you see the kind of nation where we depend, and at the same time, you hear people and where they thief wonderful. Can you imagine President Bill? You promise we and people that had faith in you. Say you probably they can't change some system. Even your own people. But as we talk today, here we stand. And then, and not only stop there, because when they try for dig on ourselves more and more into power, for consolidate on ourselves more and more into power, as if Sierra Leonean people and they understand. But like I can always say, the timeline, me not to one person where they call for an uprising. At least, not at this point. No, not necessary. You had a 5-year mandate. That mandate, I said it from the one of your administration, I said it in the first year, second year, that mandate has to be respected. If Sierra Leonean people are not pleased with you in the way how you perform, because that's how you will be judged, and rightfully so, then when that time reach for less Sierra Leonean people and take action again, which could be election time, in which they go exercise their democratic right through the ballot, then that's when they will have to make a decision on whether to keep you as the state guide, the number one man, the fountain of honor, or whether they disillusion with you. I mean, they don't appreciate you any longer. They don't like what you do for the last 5 years and vote you out. That would be the ultimate decision of the Sierra Leonean people and the Sierra Leonean people only. Fambulem will tune into the same platform on Friday, the 11th of February. We get the lawyer Ade Macaulay. We go kind of this platform for can clarify. But kubakutin them. APC convention, APC adaptation of the constitution and what it mean, the previous constitution, the now constitution, the Wilmot Blinden constitution, and things that we surround legal issues them around the All People's Congress. Where is the All People's Congress now as we speak? How much in the consolidate, because there seem to be many distractions. It's going to be heavy, it's going to be critical, and it's going to be in 3 parts. I ask you for tuning as I left una today, so una please try for send the message loud and clear to people them so that they will be able to join the platform on that day. So Fambulem, on this note, I beg for take una leave. So far, I have been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kroma. I see the number they develop, they fluctuate around 74 and 80, 90. But again, I'm not elect for leave abruptly. So when I begin for wind down. And please, God bless you all. God bless Mama Salon. Good night.